all of these databases are tying in together. And when you call from a police officer who uses a database for, say, a criminal, it also can pull up other information, such as you being flagged for handling.
Okay, I apologize for blowing up at you. The economy's going to hell in a handbasket. Everything's out of control. I'm just in a really mad, angry mood this morning, so I apologize for... I wasn't blowing up at you.
Let me say this, Al.
No, stop. You asked me a question. You said, you know about LexisNexis, and I wanted to finish saying what I knew about LexisNexis. And yes, I did know they're combining every form of gossip, innuendo, bull to it and other systems. I knew they'd expanded. I knew they were basically based in Dallas, correct? The CIA front set up decades ago. So that's correct. Now I'm going to shut up. Go ahead and tell us about it.
They also are in England now. And about 5 years ago, when most of America had their identity stolen, it happened because LexisNexis computers were hacked. They said, oh, I'm sorry, everybody's identity stolen. Now none of us can even control our own identities, our own credit ratings from this stuff. They have organized this up from all the banks, all the credit card companies, and when they got heat over it about 5 years ago, they moved to England. So they're not even a U.S. company anymore. They're not even under control of what they do. I mean, we're not in control of what information they keep or collect. It's gotten so bad that some guy at Walmart, a security guard, if he pulls me in the back room and runs up the database and they're paying him, if Walmart's a member of LexisNexis, he can get all the information on me, people that have lived in apartments next to me. I've used their service to research out business partners before, and you can come back with everybody who's ever known you, who ever lived on the same apartment building as you, and who they know to make these matrices of information that are just so scary that I turn on the radio and hear your dad going through this, and you say, well, they're not tying in, I don't have a criminal record. Well, they're looking for more than criminal record.
No, I know that they have all these databases, and you're right about LexisNexis. I just didn't know that police departments were already tying into this, and it's, of course, completely criminal. And it just shows how this country is gone, completely gone, run by hardcore crooks and narcotics traffickers. And they're going to rape all of us, and so that's the only solace, is all the people serving this system, you're going to get hurt just as bad by it. And yes, I'm upset by it, and I'm very angry, and I know how real this is, and it's starting to get to me because it is such a nightmare situation. And yes, it's called the Total Information Awareness Network, and then it's integrated into the threat matrix.
That's it.
They call it the Matrix Access System, and it's a total control grid of just baloney and made-up garbage. It makes the old FBI files filled with innuendo and
let me
bull.
tell you something that happened to me. I created a software called MySearchBot.com. It's automatic robots, goes out and searches stuff and collects it in various live folders and categories for people. Well, I originally built it about 5 years ago. Like any good piece of downloaded software, I was going to use marketing and track how people use stuff and bought stuff. Well, as soon as I really got into doing this, and I worked with other companies who were involved in buying advertising from me, they started coming at me looking for all kinds of information. IP addresses, stuff on the hard drives, all this from a piece of adware. I got completely disillusioned, dropped everything 5 years ago, literally went down and lived in Belize for a year, came back, and I started trying to tell everybody I know what's been going on, how bad this thing is getting with the gold, the economy. I sold my house in 2007 in the spring for a huge loss. I sold it in the second day. The first people who came and looked at it, because I was sure it was going to crash last spring. Now, I get back here this summer. I have a 21-year-old son. I'm only 39, but trying to raise a young boy and being is at my age, around kids that age, I'm constantly surrounded with how they're being policed. They can't drink beer on their porch in a college town. They get pulled over, and I sit there with my son. I said, no, don't let him search you. Before I know it, we got dogs on the car. We're being searched everywhere, and I'm only 39. I'm like, hey, this is turning into a police state. So I built a site called ShareTheTruth.tv. I start putting videos on there, and I keep coming up with this Alex Jones name. And so about a week ago, I started listening to your show. I'd never heard you before. And you can yell at me all you want, because I'll tell you what, I've never heard anybody speak as direct to the problem as you. I, too, have trouble sleeping at nights now. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm watching my whole country go to hell. The only person out there on the front lines seems to be Alex Jones. I'm really glad that I found your show, and when I was listening today and hear you talk about these databases, I'm like, man, I've been telling everybody for 5 years, what you order at breakfast is on your database because Denny's gets their stuff bought by them. If you have software like AdWare, like I do, they come after you to find all kinds of information. They want everything you can give them.
Well, let me give people an example. 5 years ago, there was a headline, scofflaws caught ordering pizzas. And a scofflaw is a term for somebody trying to get around the law. And it says all the big pizza companies, they know that people that, quote, have warrants out for them will really give their real address and real name because they don't know when they order a pizza.
Yes.
And so, this is 5 years ago. When you order a pizza, your whole background is run. Everything is run. And now I've got federal documents where they're already compiling what your children eat. And now already in several states and in England, they're preparing to take your children. If their computer database shows you're feeding them too much fattening food, the schools are prisons with weird goon pedophile guards running them. Absolutely, sir. I know. We are going, America and the Western world, into one giant camp. And they came up with
one last thing, so people do know. They do this incrementally, as you've talked. When I first got hip to this in like 2001, it turned out that the 800 numbers that you call for most businesses, people out there listening, by calling the 800 number, you've already given up your freedoms for them to show and share your data. So let me tell you how this other software I was building that I quit building worked. It works for VoIP. It's people who are on the Internet, and it's for employees that you have, or salespeople sitting around the phone. They receive a call, Alex calls up, you tell me, as soon as your phone number hits, it pops up on the screen. It tells me everything that I know about you, past purchases. You've never even bought from my company, but I pay LexisNexis. So I find out what your profiles are, what you like, what you're buying. And I'm on the phone the same time as a boss supervisor whispering in that salesperson's ear what to upsell you or what to do with you. I mean, when I started seeing this stuff coming through as a marketing, I realized they're going to implement it. It already is. It's a police state. And there's such bad misuses for this information manager technologies that they hit under the forms of advertisement and marketing.
Have you seen that ACLU piece where the guy's ordering the pizza and they know everything about him? They made it like 3 years ago. We ought to play that later, and that is actually what is really going on.
It's nuts. I'll tell you, I just started ShareTheTruth.tv 2 weeks ago. I've got about 500 movies on there. It's a new site. But it's because I've seen all this stuff get pulled from Google. I mean, I own the server, I own the scripts, I own the whole thing. You know, I don't save any of the IPs or any people that log in because I'm afraid at Google. They should know how many movies I watch, how many I look, and every time I turn around for something good, it gets pulled. Now, I know how these matrices and these databases work. And one thing I want to tell everybody out there, misinformation, lie about every damn thing you ever give anybody information about. They want to know your address, give them the wrong number. The only way we can ruin these databases is if they are full of shit. I'm sorry, of bad information.
No, that's the key. That's why whenever I'm on the phone, I just chatter baloney, chatter bull. I stop and talk to them. But what they've created is a wonderland for the New World Order. And listen, sir, I really appreciate your call, and I'll apologize for the third time for screaming at you for no reason. It's that this gets to me. I mean, I am under a lot of stress. I am very upset. I know you're upset about what's happening, too, because I love this country so much, and I know it's a hardcore scientific tyranny. I should pull up that editorial that Admiral Poindexter, the convicted felon who runs the illegal Total Information Awareness Network, Congress told them it was illegal, shut it down. They didn't. Of course they didn't. And that's just one hub, one sniffer, one port they got into it. And he just wrote an editorial saying everything you buy, everything you sell, everything you do, everything is being tracked. You are our slaves. And they wanted you to know that to intimidate you. They were very arrogant. He wrote that, in 2002. They just staged their terror attacks. They were telling you they were torturing people. They were writing memos about torturing kids. They were really trying to make their move to flip your psyche into accepting evil. And The caller's absolutely right. And, sir, I hope you get in contact with us. If you got some scripts and info in the future, we're going to be opening things up to get help from people to expand what we're doing with technologies here. We're going to the next level. We're going to work even harder. We've got a bigger office we're moving into in the next few weeks, and we're trying to go to the next level here, and I understand your anger. Believe me, I feel it. I know it. And but no, I learned something from you. I knew the feds were buying from every database. I knew they'd integrated them, but I didn't know that local police were already getting into those. Well, I kind of alluded to that. I said, I guess I have seen some articles where local departments do subscribe to these private databases. That's what I guessed it was earlier in the hour.